11 Pro versus Galaxy S20 5G speed test. So let's go ahead and boot these up at the same time in 3, 2, 1 and see which one could get there first. Now, for some reason, it seems like I gotta hold the Apple iPhone's button forever to get that thing to light up. It's not as fast as it used to be where you just tap it and it turns on, but they're both pretty fast to turn on. Now, 865 Snapdragon on the right, 12 gigabytes of RAM. Oh yeah, 120 hertz display. This phone's a beast right here. The iPhone is not kidding either. A13 Bionic. This thing also does give you a whopping 4 gigabytes of RAM. No, that wasn't sarcasm. 4 gigabytes of RAM on the iPhone is kind of like having 6 or 8 gigs of RAM on a Samsung phone. But you don't need as much when you can't really do many multitasking. The Galaxy beats the iPhone 11 Pro on the boot up. When it comes to the face unlock, the iPhone does unlock very fast, and I mean, just look at that thing. It just goes. And one thing I really appreciate about the iPhone is it's one of the best phones to unlock in the dark. So if you are, using your phone at night in bed or whatever, this thing is ridiculously accurate. So very fast there to unlock. Now for the Samsung Galaxy S20 5G, I have to state that I do like this fingerprint in display because you can actually activate it from the lock screen. Sometimes you'll miss, but once you get used to its placement, you'll know how to unlock this pretty easily. So it could be more convenient if you have it placed on the table. In terms of speed though, you can actually just look at the Galaxy S20 like this and it will go right in. Let's do that again, 3, 2, 1. And it'll go right in. Now, if you want that swipe to unlock feature, you can actually turn that on as well. So there's just more ways to unlock the Galaxy S20, and I think it's faster to get in as well. So yeah, faster, but you could say the Face ID could be more convenient for some, but some people are still going to prefer this in-display fingerprint. In terms of speed, they both get in fast, but I think the S20 gets in faster. Now, taking a look at the current software, iOS 13.3.1, your software is up to date. 13.4 should be coming like March 25th, around there, on the latest March build for the Galaxy S20. And so if we go to software information, you can see we're running One UI 2.1 and Android 10. Okay, guys, so we've arrived at the application portion of the speed test. Everything closed out for the Samsung here. And we have everything closed out for the iPhone. Now, let's go ahead and begin with calendar. 3, 2, 1. You can see that's the Samsung. I do have the 120 hertz here on for the Samsung. Let's go into clock. And you can see faster. Now, if you notice, when you come back home, that was a Samsung again, it looks identical, the way those apps fly back to the home screen. Let's go into weather. Some are even saying they copied Apple blatantly right there. You can see going back home. Let's go into Facebook. iPhone did win weather, and iPhone also wins Facebook. Let's go into Twitter. And Samsung wins Twitter. Let's go into profile. But what's funny now is that not only is the iPhone less smooth, but it also scrolls slower. So if you want that blazing fast feel, but you also want smooth, Samsung's got Apple beat this year so far. Let's go into Snapchat. We'll see what happens with iPhone 12. A little faster on the Samsung there. YouTube. And let's go to the Explore tab. And you could see very fast on both, but it's really going to come down to which one do you prefer for video watching. I think the notch gets in the way a little bit more when it comes to video when you pinch in than the little Infinity O. So let's come home. Let's go into speed test, see which one wins this one. And looks like the iPhone has got it there. Let's go into Amazon. And looks like Samsung there, scrolling through Amazon. Very smooth and fast on the Samsung. A little bit choppy with the 60 hertz there for the iPhone, but still a pretty good experience. If you never looked at a 120 hertz display, you wouldn't even notice. Let's go into eBay, and you can see Samsung there beats out the iPhone. And if we click something here, let's see what happens. iPhone catching up there. So let's go to this Magic the Gathering, and you can see iPhone maybe a little faster when in app. So some applications when in the app, the iPhone might be faster. Let's go into Spotify. And you can see the Samsung loads that first, but what if we click something like your daily mix, for example? See, the applications when you're actually in the app sometimes are better optimized for the iPhone. So it doesn't mean that just because they open faster that the Samsung's always going to feel faster. And so let's go into Prime Video, and you could see the Samsung first there. Now, what about if we click a movie here? Samsung a little faster. And again, when it comes to media, I would still probably pick the Samsung. It's going to be more enjoyable to watch movies on here with the better display. Let's go into Geekbench, and you can see iPhone wins it out there. And let's go into PUBG. and see which one can load this game faster. Now, I will say that, the Samsung having that 120 hertz display makes gaming way funner on that phone. Even a lot of gaming phones don't have this. The ROG phone has it, but not every gaming phone has it. But the iPhone definitely has a little bit of a lead when it comes to just loading things up in terms of speed. And some of the titles are still going to come first to the iPhone. But I don't think you can go wrong either way now when it comes to gaming on either. Let's go into Dead Trigger 2 and see which one can load this up first. It's going to be a close one here, and the Apple iPhone beats it out there. So let's hit play and see which one can load this up first. Man, that Apple GPU is not messing around. When in game though, like I say, very smooth on both, and having the 120 hertz gives the Samsung a nice advantage over a lot of Android competitors as well. And let's go into the final game, the Mortal Kombat, and see what happens here. Now, it's really nice to see that you finally can get a Samsung phone that is super smooth. And you kind of expect that with the iPhone. Both of these are so close though. It comes down to that iOS. Why are people picking iPhone or why are people picking Samsung? Everyone has their reasons, but it comes down to that. Because I think either way you go, you're getting a phenomenal piece of hardware here on both. And you see, it looks like the iPhone still is going to win out on games. So I think if it comes to games, the gaming experience probably still better for the Apple iPhone. And when ProMotion displays come more than likely to the iPhone 12 later this year, it's going to get even better. So when it comes to that initial speed test, I think it was pretty mix and match. The Galaxy smoother, faster scrolling, opened a lot of the apps first, but the iPhone when in apps can perform a little bit better. Also, it has better gaming load times than the Samsung and maybe more titles. Let's go into Mortal Kombat, and you could see both of them had that ready to go. And that little hang on the Samsung when you are in landscape is really annoying. You can see it right there. That's just annoying. Let's go to PUBG Mobile, and you can see it's going to do it again. Let's get out of there. You can see right there. Let's go to Geekbench 5. Good to go. Prime Video, good to go. Spotify. But one great thing about the Samsung is that it takes advantage of that RAM that it does have. Oh, we got a reload there. For YouTube, let's go into Snapchat. It takes advantage of that RAM and allowing you to do multitasking, something like true multitasking, something you cannot do on the iPhone. But there's an argument to be had that that's not always useful for everyone, but you can do things like this. You can also do things like this. You can also add even more to your screen. Let's go to weather, for example, and let's pop view that. So look at this. You got multiple apps you can have at one time. And so this is where the RAM will come into play. So if you want to do multitasking, that's where that RAM will come into play. But for the amount of RAM this iPhone has, that was pretty impressive how it holds all those apps pretty easily. We're going to go ahead and just save this image in Canva, see which one can do this faster. So we're going to save this as a JPEG, and we'll go ahead and hit download. And you can see pretty close on both, but it looks like the iPhone may have been a little bit faster there. Here at the web browsing test, let's go to target.com, 3, 2, 1, and see what happens. Looks like the iPhone had that. We'll just zoom in a little bit. Pretty good on both. Let me go ahead and take off the dark mode for this website, and let's go ahead and do another one. And so let's go to bestbuy.com in 3, 2, 1, and see which one loads that faster. Looks like the Samsung might have had that one there. So, very good browsing, and the Samsung browser and Safari are pretty comparable when it comes to how smooth they are. They both have reader modes, things like that. So I would state that, either way you go, you're going to be very happy with the web browsing performance. I do think the Samsung is still faster to scroll in web browsing, and pinch to zoom is as smooth, if not smoother now, than the iPhone. So it's definitely a really good experience in browsing on both. Where the Samsung will really shine is internet performance when on the move. The LTE and 5G performance is just crushing that on the iPhone in my experience. Here are your final scores, and the iPhone finishing with a whopping 1338 on single, Samsung at 909. So the S20 on single cannot even beat the 11 Pro, and on multi, it's not beating the 11 Pro either. So the iPhone 12 with the upcoming A14 is probably going to just easily take the cake once again when it comes to CPU performance. And if they throw a ProMotion on there, Well, Apple will just take the lead once again. But for now, what are the conclusions? Well, I think the Samsung has caught up to Apple pretty easily now. However, the iPhone still seems to have the faster chip, technically speaking, but the Samsung still has a lot more features for you if you're into features. Which one offers more will depend on your preferences. Thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Let me know what else you want to see on the Galaxy S20. I got a lot more S20, S20 Ultra content coming. I'm still in the review process of these, and make sure to stay safe out there. I will catch you all in the next episode. Thank you very much for watching. Nick here, and peace.